saw the Beast of the Blue Ridge on August 5th, 2017, Lake James. We were out there doing some research. It was about 11:45 at night. We had several teams in the woods in various places. This particular team that I was with was me and two other gentlemen. And we were walking on a Forest Service road, and we kept hearing something beside us, parallel us. It's very common behavior in Bigfoot. They parallel. So we stopped and we waited for probably half an hour and started back. When we stopped, it stopped. When we started, it started. So we were probably about 4 miles back in the woods, and we were stopped and we were talking. We wasn't being quiet, we were talking. And probably 25 yards or so in front of us, I saw something. The moon was out, and I saw something kind of different color than what I'd been used to. Flipped on my headlamp, and it crossed the Forest Service road that we were walking on. It was probably, when we went back and done the measurements and things, we measured right at 9 feet. It went into the woods. Step and a half across the Forest Service road into the woods. I immediately took off to where it went into the woods. And I went into the woods because I've been doing this a long time. And I wanted to see as much as I could see. Went about 50 yards in the woods, and I stopped because I hadn't seen nothing. And you know, I'd been making a lot of noise, so I hadn't heard him. So I stopped, and the guys that were with me were coming in, and I said, look up in the trees. You know, because there's theories that they climb trees. So I happened to pan to my right, and when I did, it was standing there with its hand upon a tree, right like this, looking right at me. Its hair was shaggy and matted, kind of reminded you of a wet dog, kind of. Had no hair on its face at all. Its nose was totally flat. It was not the least bit intimidated by me at all, but it was not aggressive either. I stood and watched this thing for probably 10 seconds. And when this thing, it turned and walked off of the side of the hill, and I saw the muscles flex when it took a step. But the most important thing to me was when I was standing there watching it, I was watching its chest rise and fall as it was breathing. Because by trade, I'm retired now, but by trade I was a paramedic, and I was taught to be really observant. And I saw its chest rise and fall when it would breathe. We tracked it 1 mile to the lake. The last print we took was right at the edge of the lake. I believe it got in the lake to swim away. And it was the greatest thing that other than having my children, that I had ever had, because after all the years that I had done it, after all the fun that had been made of me, after all of the jokes that had been made of me, I saw it. And at that point, the question of whether they're real or not don't even apply no more. I'm so far past that now. I saw one. I know they're real. And that was right here in McDowell County, out at Lake James. And through our research that we've done over the years, we've documented there's 2 family units that live at Lake James, 2 different family units. And what we're doing now is we're working on, what do the tree structures mean? They're not made for us. They're made for the other Bigfoots. What do the knocks mean? They're not doing it to impress us. It's a communication, a form of communication. That was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. And it happened right here, you know, but it took a long time for it to happen. So that is the story of the Beast of the Blue Ridge.